Hello guys, as you know Holi festival is coming and you are very excited to celebrate it. And photographer wants to capture these moments in their camera, either they are amateur or professional. So in the today video you will watch how can we take stunning and colorful pictures. The main way it is celebrated is with the use of a colored powder and the water. This colored powder is thrown into the air, thrown at people and even physically rubbed onto people's faces. For the water, this is thrown with the buckets, water balloons sprayed with the hoses, and can even come from the shower heads, spraying from all around you if you are in a certain temple. I want to upload it early, but I was busy in some assignments, so I upload on the time. Don't feel this video is only for the Holi festival. If you watch this video till the end, you can learn how can you shoot your images in any festival and how can enhance your image quality with camera or with smartphone or computer app. So don't skip this video. Let's watch first preparation. Photographing Holi requires some preparation in order to protect your camera, powder and water fly around everywhere on the day. You can take shower afterwards your camera can't. So take the time to prepare easy steps. Buy a rain cover for your camera. Seal the open ends with the duct tape. Take a good all-around lens. You won't be able to change it again and again. I use this 18 to 105 for my DSLR. Your memory card should be empty and big enough for all the pictures you will take. Don't change it outside on the day. Use a fully charged battery but take the one too. That's the only thing you can safely change if you are careful, but it's better if you don't need to. Which settings you use depends on your level of experience. Use the camera mode you feel comfortable with. Settings should not get in the way of the getting great pictures. Often you won't have time to play around, experiment beforehand and use what you are familiar with. If you're familiar with the aperture priority, then go for the aperture priority. If you are familiar with a shutter priority, then go for shutter. Here are some additional tips for how to photograph Holi. To freeze powder and moving people, use a shutter speed of at least 1:200 seconds. I recommend to use manual mode, but if you are not comfortable with the manual settings, then don't experiment with the manual mode. Go for your familiar settings. You can also use shutter priority mode. Select the shutter means S mode in Nikon and TV mode in the Canon. TV means time value. Raise the shutter speed at least 1:200 seconds in shutter mode. You just need to set the shutter speed. Aperture value will be set by the camera. If you want to know more about the shutter speed, you can watch my video on shutter speed. I am inserting a card above. Sometimes lighting conditions are not good, camera is not able to get a appropriate speed, so I recommend you set your ISO at least 400. Or if your camera has a feature of auto ISO, you can set auto ISO, then your camera will set your ISO automatically. So you just need to set speed only. If you are comfortable with the manual mode, then you need to set higher speed and your aperture should not be small. On safer side, use 3.5 to 5.6. If you are taking a picture of the group, when I recommend you use the f8 to f11. In some cases you can also use more narrow aperture, but if you are a beginner then no need to experiment. Set your lens to the manual focus, then focus a specific distance. This way you don't need to focus every time. When something is at the preset distance, you can raise your camera and shoot, sometimes even without looking the viewfinder. And also use back button focus. Use it so you can clear your focus and recompose easily. The standard practice is to halfway press the shutter button, the camera focuses, then you press the shutter down the rest of the way to take your image. What back button focus does is remove the focus actuation from the shutter button and instead assign the function to the button on the back of the camera. Now when you shoot, you will press your back button to lock focus and then press the shutter to take an image. If you don't press the focus button, your camera acts as if you have the camera set to manual focus. Back button focus allows you to easily swap between continuous to single autofocus. Back button focus allows you to easily lock the focus. That button focus make it easy to swap between auto to the manual focus. Normally I use neutral picture control. But for Holi, I recommend you use Vivid. You can also adjust its settings like clarity, brightness, contrast, saturation or more. In the advanced camera, you can also set your profile where you can set your own settings by creating your own picture control settings. Go Manage Picture Control and select any profile change, desired settings and save into the custom profile. You can see I have already saved some setting into Intense profile. Then go to Color Space. Color Space should be Adobe RGB instead of sRGB. Adobe RGB is actually a larger color space. Most says it is about 35% larger than sRGB. Upon learning this, many photographers switch to Adobe RGB. I did too, with the simple rationale that bigger must be better. Okay, first let's talk about what this RAW thing is in the terms of photography. When using a camera, the two main photo formats available are JPG and RAW. JPG is also a compressed file format. The greater the compression, the greater the loss in quality. There are downsides, however, to using a compressed JPG file. A compressed image is a lot less flexible when it comes to editing. A RAW file, on the other hand, is an uncompressed version. Essentially, the camera takes the image data from the sensor and saves it in an unedited and uncompressed format on the memory. This takes up a lot more space on your memory card. Every camera manufacturer has their own RAW file format. For example, Canon RAW files have a CR2 file type, Nikon RAW files are NEF files. So instead of image JPG, however, RAW does have a number of advantages which I will not cover in this video. I have to create another video on this. Enhance your image in Lightroom to give more colors and crisp. If your camera is a simple and point and shoot camera, or you don't want to involve in much color settings in the camera, then you have no need to worry. You can enhance your details and colors in Photoshop Lightroom Classic or in Lightroom CC. Here I am using Lightroom CC because you can do the same settings in your Android or iPhone by installing Lightroom CC 2020. I am opening Lightroom, click on plus button to add the photo and then go to add photo button, click on photo. Now image is ready to editing. If you are a beginner, you can change your color profile and image will be automatically edited. You can select the profile by drop down profile menu. So I am coming back to the default image. You can also choose preset to enhance your image. Here you can also find vivid preset that you have already was we set in the camera. But I always like to do manually, but strongly recommend you don't do excess, just need to adjust minor changes in manually. The first thing I always do to correct the white balance by picking a dropper and drop on the correct white area and pick the correct white color. You can watch how the color tint is changing warmer to cooler. After that, you can minor adjustment in exposure and contrast. Move highlight slider to -100. And shadow slider to 100. Next step to enhance the specific color, so you can change color tone by the hue slider, increase the saturation with the saturation slider, or adjust the luminosity with the luminosity slider. So I am increasing saturation and decrease the luminosity on specific color. Come to my favorite slider, dehaze. So minor adjust the slider to clear the little bit haze of atmosphere. Now see before and after. See the difference, how the image is more dramatic, crispy with the minor adjustments. Now that's all for the today. Thanks for the watching. Happy Holi and don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell.